Well, the Nigeria Premier Football League has unveiled a major digital broadcasting partnership with Murphy-Ben International aimed at taking selected league matches to millions of fans worldwide. Under the agreement, selected NPFL games will be streamed live and delayed on the league's official YouTube channel free of charge and in HD, giving supporters easier access through phones, televisions, laptops, and other internet-enabled devices. NPFL Chairman Gbenga Elegbele described the partnership as a landmark development that will improve fan engagement, boost the league's visibility, and create new commercial opportunities for clubs and players. NBI Chairman Murphy Anawana said the company will deploy its production and digital expertise to promote the NPFL globally through broadcasting, storytelling, and social media. The partnership will cover multiple matches each match day. Well, we're being joined by the Director of Communications of the Nigeria Premier Football League, Harry Iwuala. He's here in Lagos, and of course, he was front and center of this announcement earlier today. Harry, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's a pleasure to always have you on the show. Tell us a bit more about this partnership and how the NPFL came about it.
Yeah, Tunde, good evening, and let me thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on the show again. It's always a delight to be on your show with all your guests who are all very well grounded in the sports and especially football. Well, what we did today was more of a partnership because Murphy-Ben will be producing these games. Murphy-Ben, actually, let me explain who they are. They're a company that has been huge in Nollywood production and Afrobeat, both production and distribution. Murphy-Ben also are in other parts of Africa, like Rwanda, where they do transcribing of some of the Indian movies, some of the telenovelas into the Swahili language, and of course in Ethiopia and some other countries. So what we're doing is to take advantage of their reach using our own YouTube channel. They did a test run to show us what they are capable of doing during the last match day 38 of the last season, Ikorodu City versus Rangers. If I send you clips of those games, you would think you're watching something from Sky Sports. So that is how good they are. And that is the reason when they came with this proposal, we have second thoughts signing up with them.
So, Mr. Iwuala, how long do you think this partnership could possibly last between the NPFL and the news sponsors now? Because we do believe that this partnership should be for the development of the NPFL and for better branding as well. So what are the long-term plans? Is this going to be a partnership that will only maybe work for this season, you see how it goes, or is there now an agreement that maybe it would last for a couple of years?
Well, what happens with partnerships like this is it's usually going to be long term, but in the first instance, it's going to be mid-term for both sides to also do stock taking to see if we're achieving our goals. But from discussions I've had with our partners, they have a long-term plan. Like I said, we may think Nollywood has blown, we may think Afrobeat has blown. Murphy-Ben is actually behind this. Interestingly, one of the persons at the conference today was Ben Asika. Obi Asika. Obi Asika is the Director General of Nigerian National Culture and Arts in Abuja. But Obi has been at the background of digital growth in Nigeria. Right from back in 2013, he's been setting up Social Media Week, which held at 4 Points and Sheraton every year, and it gathers people from all over the country, young people from all over the country, and then from outside. So for his presence today, you know that Murphy-Ben is just a very big player in the digital space, and that is what the NPFL has always looked for, because the age generation we're looking at now are no longer those of the adult, real old adults. We're looking at the younger population, and these are where you find them on digital space like the YouTube. And of course, Murphy-Ben is not just going to be producing matches. We're going to be having behind-the-scene cut-offs. We're going to be having user-generated content. We're going to have storytelling about the clubs, about their history, about who they are, about how far they have gone. Those things that will grab attention, those are the expertise that bring it into this, which has not been quite present in previous productions of the NPFL. So I see them as having a long-term plan of staying with football because they've had music, they've had movies. Now, sports is what is meeting. So what we're looking at now is going to be sports, entertainment, and business, as it were.
Harry, I'm sorry to cut in, but now you've mentioned the fact that, digital seems to be the way to go. Are you completely ruling out football, I beg your pardon, TV, for football? Because we do know that the vast majority of revenue for sports franchises anywhere in the world comes from TV. So is there any plans to have a proper terrestrial broadcaster or maybe a direct cable broadcaster for the league?
It's quite. I mean, let me use the word a bit amusing that you asked this question. Last season, we already have the Afia TV, which is produced by Afro Sports. We already have them. They started mid-season. They were supposed to have started earlier. They started mid-season. They are our direct-to-home partners. Streaming is a different package from direct-to-home, and that direct-to-home is available to every TV channel in Nigeria because they are the ones managing the digital switch over, which Nigeria has which Nigeria began doing sometime this year. So all TV stations are free to take those feeds. But of course, for business reasons, best known to some of the TV stations. But so far, I think they have about 13 TV stations, some in the north, some in southeast, who hook up to the NPFL games that they broadcast. They're always on Super Sports, I think 255, and then one other channel, which I can't recall offhand. So the direct-to-home aspect of the broadcast is intact. Now, this is just an additional income stream that the NPFL are looking at.
Okay. Wale?
Yeah, good evening, Harry. I wanted to talk about finance. I mean, let's talk money this time around. How financially rewarding is this in-court partnership between MBI? I mean, it's a fresh MBI. The MBI I used to know was way back then. But how financially rewarding is this partnership between the MBI and the NPFL?
I'm sure some of you are even better grounded in digital economy than I may be. I mean, I'm talking about the monetization of social media pages or spaces. So, for instance, MBI, their general platform, that's not even their trading name. Their general platform has about 3.5 billion this year alone. So, and it is based on the views, the reviews, and the shares that you have on those platforms that you begin to make money. So that is exactly, and I have a couple of friends who all they do is redistribution of movies, production, and everything. So that's actually where the real money is. And MBI, as you said, using their platforms are going to try to take NPFL further than what we have tried to do on our own.
But just a follow-up, sorry, a follow-up. I remember during the Commonwealth Games, the NPFL chairman, Benga Legbele, who you work with, also talked about a massive sponsorship or sponsor coming through worth around $7.5 million. Are you saying that with the advent of this new partnership, is that story, is that development dead in the water? Or should we still be expecting something before the NPFL season kicks off?
Definitely, as I talked about direct to home, the package the chairman spoke about is quite a different package altogether. Don't forget that the NPFL could have an official beer, have an official bank, have an official airline. So that's a different package that is coming up. And in fact, what we're doing with the MBI is even a support structure for that sponsorship, because ideally, those people also want to have a very good exposure of their relationship with the NPFL. So with the MBI partnership now, we're guaranteeing them a global view of whatever we're going to be doing with them. So that's a different package. And of course, the full detail of it can only be revealed by the chairman when the time is right.
Come on, Harry. We're hoping you give us a sneak peek or some kind of exclusive. But hey, it's okay. Okay, you want to add to this?
Yeah, Harry, while you were explaining the package in terms of how the broadcast is going to be, you did mention the use of user-generated creators. Now, the UGC creators are quite different from content creators. Now, I say this because over the last 2 years, there's been a bit of fracas between core sports journalists and content creators. So if you're saying now that the NPFL is going to be put on digital media, is the NPFL or MBI, are they now going to probably have partnerships with content creators, maybe possibly social media campaigns, in order to use some of them and possibly benefit from their own following in order to promote the NPFL?
Well, when I talked about the UGC, first of all, the UGC we're talking about here is trying to make the fans feel part of the game. There could be some contest of, let's see what you did with when a particular team scored. It could be a kind of, what do you do before you go to any game? That's quite different from getting professional content creators to start creating for the NPFL. But again, that's within the this thing of MBI to decide how they want to partner with either influencers or content creators, but whichever way, and I believe that's the business they've been in through the Nollywood and then the Afrobeat platforms that they have been working on. So we leave that for them to decide. But of course, you know that we're not going to permit anyone to also have a full camera inside the stadium trying to do content creation, except it is with them. When we talk about the UGC, yeah, we're talking about fans with their phones. And moreover, today is with some very good mobile phones. You can create and edit anything you want to do. So in terms of the problem between content creators and the NPFL, you still have to work within the rules, within the rights that the NPFL allow. You know, you can't just enter into, for instance, we're always talking about comparing the NPFL with the EPL and others. You can't walk into those stadiums during a match with a camera to come and create content, except you are permitted, except you are working with the league authorities.
Okay, we've been speaking with the Communications Director of the Nigeria Premier Football League, Harry Iwuala, experienced journalist and a good friend of the house. Thank you so much for your time. We're all eagerly awaiting the kickoff of the brand new Nigeria Premier Football League season. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Game On.
I sent you the fixtures for the season earlier today.
Oh yeah, you did. Well, that's, you see, yeah, now you're telling the entire world that you and I have a very close partnership. I appreciate that. But thank you so much for sending that. We will definitely be telling everyone how the season will be panning out. Thank you so much, Harry Iwuala.